this is Jeff Al Gilbert. Welcome to my live call tonight. And it comes with a question. My closing sucks. What do I do? So I'll talk about that. For those of you that are joining me tonight, I want to share with you some of the things I've learned in my 40-year journey in network marketing. I started in this business totally broke, sold a junk truck to get started, and put $200 into my business. Last 27 years I've been full-time. Hola, ¿cómo está? Pretty exciting that got a platino out of the country of Ecuador. That was amazing. April was an amazing month. It really was. Now, March was amazing, of course. March, I never saw a month like it in my, 21 years since I, joined my last company. Yeah, thank you, Janet. We are, and we hope you are too, safe. And yet, April, I was curious about to see if it was going to be, was it going to be a flatter month, or it was an incredible month. April was, and I had two people, just in my team hit platinum. For those of you that wonder what that is, that means they did over $1 million in product sales, and did all that through 3 legs. So that's pretty incredible. And one of those leaders was out of the country of Ecuador. And if you've been watching the news, Eden, nice to see you. Ecuador has been a very hard hit country with coronavirus. A lot of deaths there. And yet, despite all that going on, one of my leaders just hit top pin. So that was incredible month. And Burris, nice to see you. And who else is going to join us tonight? And tonight is open, it's free Friday, so fire away. You got any questions, you leaders have. Eden, how you doing in Colorado? Nice to, yeah, it was. Here's the thing, there's a lot of network marketing companies doing very good right now. And I think part of that is the fact that, again, a lot of people are home and people got time to look at your company and your product. So Daniette, nice to see you from Michigan. And so your governor has locked you down even further. I know you're really excited about that, right? And so, let me see. I was gonna go find, there we go. Yeah, there we go. And again, if you have a question, tonight's a night to post it. Lisa in Connecticut, George in New York. If you post your question now or on this call, then George will do a screenshot and send it to me. And I think Omar's got a question, George. But let's start with Andrina, and George, I'll let you watch for the questions. Andrina in Texas, she is so hungry, thoughtful, just inquisitive, about what you got to do to make it in network marketing. Totally cool. And so she says, what posture do you have to have when someone says, I'll let you know when I'm available? I'll let you know when I'm available. I told them my week gets busy, but they didn't seem to care. So let's deal with, yeah, I'll let you know when I'm available. You know, here's what you can do. Try to find a way, because I don't know what, everyone does different things. That's why I said try to find a way, okay. That you can capture their email address, you know, like a free offer, something like that. You can do that. It can be on anything. It could be a recipe that no one has but you. And it has such a great health benefit from it. It could be a lot of different things. If it's a person in network marketing, then it can be 7 tips that make all the difference in achieving success. It can be anything like that. But the idea here is that to get such a thing, they have to opt in, and that is, you know, give you their email address. You'll see different people that post those things on their pages. The reason why I'm saying is you need to drip on these people. The people that says, well, I'll get back to you. You know, you don't have to get back with me. I'll get back with you. Drip on them. Because right now you don't have their attention for any reason, right? It could be anything. It's not necessarily because they're not interested. It's just that their life is crazy, right? So, you know, you mean now, these days, our life is crazy? Sure, a lot of craziness, okay? But if you drip on them, you know, in your emails and all that, and just share what's going on in your team, share what's going on with people using your products, or share, you know, special offers that you have. I mean, that's very important. It's very important because with these social media platforms, you don't know that you're always going to have them. And let's just say tonight, if this one was to end, how are we going to find one another? You know? So, anyways, just my thought on that. And then how do you handle objections after they see your videos? I'm usually thinking they are not a fit and move on. Is that correct? No, you know, sometimes when we get objections, it's not that they're not interested. Matter of fact, 21 years ago when I joined my last company, I had objections. You know, my first comment was, would you like to join? No. That was my pushback. Why is that? Because I want to run to a safe spot, and I want to evaluate things in my space. I don't want to be manipulated. I don't want to be pressured. And I know you wouldn't do that, but they may not know that you wouldn't do that. But sometimes that's just a way for people to find a safe spot when they're highly interested in what you have. I'm telling you the truth, because 21 years ago, I was highly interested in a company's product, but I wanted my space. I don't want somebody, you know, how many of you, when you go to, let's say you're looking for a car, right? You go out on the car lot and you see the car that you're interested in, you walk over, and the first thing, a salesman comes running up to you. You know, what's your first reaction? Isn't it like, you know, back off, give me some space, let me smell it, let me look at it, let me read the description on the window, I want to get some facts, I want to get a feel for this first, then I'm going to come see you. So again, when it comes to objections, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not interested. They could be very interested, and I can guarantee you that I threw a lot of objections last time I joined a company 21 years ago. And then she says, I've had prospects tell me get back at them in a month or so. How do you follow up on these people? You know what? That's what shows how great of a sponsor you would be. The fact that you would even remember these people. And if you took notes, and you should take notes, when you talk to these people, just ask them, how's your child's project going, or your husband that's involved in let's say maybe he does coaching on the side. How is it going with the baseball season? Considering the situation now, and they're like, oh wow, she remembered that. She remembered that. Wow, what does that say? It says that you take an interest in that person. And that's very important to that person, because people want to feel valued. They do want to feel valued. So get back with them. Now, Amy up in New Jersey, she, how you doing, Amy? She said, talk about closing. Here's the thing with closing. Let's take the word closing and change it to, how do you feel about consulting? See, closing has to do with like making a sale, right? There's nothing wrong with what you're saying. I know exactly what you mean. Everybody on this call presently knows exactly what you mean. But there's a difference between closing and consulting. Closing means that you have to get that person to make a decision to buy your product or join your company. So just the word closing is pretty hardcore. Consulting, on the other hand, carries on a different meaning, doesn't it? And so that is, it's trying to help that person through the decision process, and part of that may be not to buy your product and not to join you in your company. You say, gee whiz, Jeff, I'm not out here to convince people not to join me. Well, I agree with that. There's some people, though, you don't want. And some people that quit in my organization, I'm like, glad they quit. Glad they moved on. Because some people are just high maintenance. So when it comes to consulting, the important thing here is, in consulting, they arrive at their decision. They own their decision. When it's a closing, it's more about how creative and crafty you are, and it's your decision. You're trying to get them to go with you and make that decision that you want them to make. So what we want them to own it. So in consulting, how do you take them through that process? Number one is, if after they've seen a presentation, after they've seen the presentation, then my first question is, what did you like best about it? And I want them to find something good about that presentation. I said, if this, so this is step one. If this was to be something worthwhile to you, how much income would you like to see from this every month? And if they say to you, $1,000 would be great because I'm just looking for part-time money, then great, fine. Second question. And again, tell them, that's great, that's fine. If they say 3,000, that's great, that's fine. Now, if they say 30,000, okay, we'll get to that along with the second and third question. Second question is, how much time every week could you commit to doing this so that you could always have that income coming in every month, whatever it is they said. How many hours every week would they be willing to do that? And if they say, well, I think, especially right now, the way things are, I could probably commit 20 hours a week. That's fine. If they say 5 hours a week, that's fine. We want to get an idea, and we want them to understand that it's going to take some time to establish a team of people that is going to be involved in their business, either as consumers or as leaders. And so the next question, that's the third question, is how many months would you be willing to give to achieve this, working those hours every week? How many months? If they say, well, I'd give it 6 months. Okay, that's fair. Is there anything, fourth question, is there anything else that I need to answer right now before you get started. You notice that? Before you get started. And I say that it's fine to close them, if you will, because you've already led them through the decision process. They understand it's going to take time. Now, on the other hand, if they say, well, I want to make $10,000 a month, but I'm only willing to put in at least 2 hours a week, I'd say, well, I'll tell you what, then we're going to have to make an adjustment either on the money end or on the time end. And I'm happy to work with you on both of that, you know, in both areas. So, but that's it. But that's the closing question. Is there anything else I need to answer before you get started? And when they say, well, no, I guess not. Wonderful. I look forward to working with you. You know what, Debbie? We're going to have a lot of fun and we're going to make some money together. I really look forward to working with you. Let's go ahead and get your order filled out and let's get you enrolled. And that's pretty much it. You know, anything beyond that, it's going to talk them right out of it. And so Blessings from Africa asked, how do you introduce your business to a client and then turn them into a downline? Well, it's a little of both. If they are in your business, they are your downline, right? So how do you do that is don't try to separate the product from your business opportunity. That's what too many do. Too many want to just talk about the product. It's all one thing to me. I want them to understand there's a business behind this product. And I have a saying that I've said for as long as I can remember. Sell the franchise, not the burger. Sell the franchise, not the burger. Look at the McDonald's story, perfect example, Ray Kroc. Who's the one that made a fortune with McDonald's? Ray Kroc. Well, why didn't the McDonald brothers make a fortune? It was their name after all, right? Well, they focused on the product, just selling burgers. They just thought, well, if I make burgers and sell them, I can make money. But this thing about a franchise, this thing about selling a business model, Ray, go ahead and, if you can make money on that, do it. Well, that's what he did. He made a fortune. So just understand that if you create and this is what many misunderstand. They say, oh, it's all about recruiting. It's about recruiting. It's about, yes, it is. It is about recruiting. Because the more people you recruit, the more customers you can have. The more McDonald's franchises out there that are out there, the more you can get, the more McDonald's burgers you're going to sell. Does that make sense to you hecklers? Man, go. That's the problem when you guys go to too many schools and get too many degrees. You don't have a lick of common sense. Anyway, of course, sell the franchise, not the burger. That's the point. You're going to make a whole lot more money building a network of leaders out there that are going to be able to move a lot of product. That's how you move millions of dollars. Like I had two new leaders do that just in April in different countries, in the country of Spain, in the country of Ecuador, and they hit high positions. If they focused on product sales, they'd be broke. They'd be broke. I mean, you can only sell so much product in a month. You're trading time for money. That's called a JOB. There's nothing residual about that unless you get the customer to come back, right? All right? So we live at a time that people just misunderstand everything about what network marketing is. They think this is 40 years ago, you know. Okay, so Johansel from the country of the Dominican said, what do you say to people in other companies that love to brag and say how great their company's compensation plan is, it's the best, and start comparing? Hey, here's the thing. If you're happy, I'm excited. I don't want to make you unhappy, and we're not in competition, by the way. That's my attitude, first of all, because, you know, here's the thing. And this is what I know to be true. And I'll tell this to anybody, and there's a lot of people out there that are, you know, they're deceivers. They're deceivers. They sound like some of these politicians today. They just can't tell the truth. And that is, they want to talk about, oh, how their company pays out so much more compensation, right? Yeah, so much. let me tell you, a company can only afford to pay so much. And if they pay beyond that, they go broke. Does that make sense to some of you out there? I think it does. In other words, you're going to have overhead, right? You're going to have a compliance department. You're going to have a marketing department. You're going to have, so many different departments. If you're international, then you're going to have so many VPs that represent different parts of the world. You're going to have general managers. You're going to have employees. You're going to have customer service. You're going to have distributor support. You're going to have a warehouse. You're going to have people who are going to formulate and make these products. If those are PhDs, then, hey, those guys aren't cheap. They're not cheap, okay? There's a lot of cost that goes into creating a company and an opportunity. And if some people, they want to throw out these numbers, oh, we pay out 75, 80%. We kill it, oh yeah, right, sure. Who do you think you're talking to here? If a company goes really much beyond 50%, if they go much beyond 50%, let's see if they're still around. So you can brag all you want. What it tells me is you're going out of business. On the other hand, here's where you stop the lies, Johansel, and in the Dominican Republic. Show me your company's income disclosure. I want to see your company's income disclosure. It'll be on your website. Just Google it. Google the name of your company and income disclosure. Now, let's compare our income disclosures. Also, what's required to achieve that position? Let's just say your top position. What does it require? Okay, and then how much money does it make? And maybe the position before it. Let's compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. Okay, not apples to oranges. Okay, and again, let's see what's required. Now, here's the other hidden thing too. I talked to somebody the other day, and I won't say which company it was, but when I asked the question, I said, well, when somebody buys a product, let's say I buy your product, whatever that product is, let's just say that it's 100 points. How much of that 100 points is commissionable? That's a good question. Because see, their compensation plan can pay very high, right? But if the point value is low on the commissions, let's say that they say they're paying 70%. They're really not paying 70%. Because I found out with this other company, it was 50%, 50%, 50%. Now I said, okay, then you can take your compensation plan and let's just half those numbers. If you say it's paying out 70%, what you just told me is you're paying out 35. Does everybody get what I'm talking about? Do you understand? You get my logic on this? Because that's what it's that. See, that's where the smoke, the mirrors, and you blow that stuff away. Say, look, you know what? You're working for 35%. Let's get real here. So if I go out there and I let's say I have a team and we do $1 million, I'm only going to get paid on half of that, and probably not even half of that, because there's going to be other leaders below me getting paid on that same volume too. You're really not walking away with much money, are you? I mean, but here's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we have to understand something, and remember this. If people join you for compensation only, they will never stay with you. They will never stay with you. I tell you right now, they won't. And I've traveled the world, and I remembered walking into one meeting one time in Korea, and it was a big long conference table, and there was probably 25 people around it, and here walks in this guy from Tennessee, and this is in Seoul, Korea. These are all city people, very sharp, intelligent people, and I wanted to start the meeting by talking about the product. And they said, oh, we're not interested in the product. We're just interested in the compensation plan. And I said, no. I said, let me tell you something. A business is built on the product. If you don't have a great product, then you do not have a great business, and the compensation plan is irrelevant. But I'm going to pass this product around the table right now, and if you'll take it, I'll talk to you about the compensation plan. See, I had to get the values very clear and straight with these people that I was going to start working with. In other words, I'm not going to work with you if this is what you are, because there will always be another company that comes around the corner and says, "We got a better compensation plan." You know, you'll always hear this. And how are you going to? So that's what I'm saying. Their values are wrong. If they're all about the money, these are not the kind of people you want. These are the kind of people who go rob banks. If they can't do network marketing, they're going to rob banks. Okay. I had a guy call me up one time, said, "You don't know me. I'm interested in working with you, but I got to make a lot of money and I got to make it now. What do I got to do?" And I said, "Well, I guess you ought to go rob a bank." That's what I told him. I don't know if I can help you, dude, because your values are just, I'm not really comfortable with that. I'm all for making money. But I'm just saying, if that's the reason why they're joining, they'll never stay anyway. It's the wrong group. These are, that kind of language, this is very typical of people who are into money games. They're money gamers. You know, be careful with that. And so then we go to, okay, and one last question here. How do you get back at people that left your message? How do you get back at people that you left your you left your message on, and it's seen when you first reached out, don't know when to reach out again? Get back, just follow up the next day. Stay on it. That's it. And just just ask him if there's a better time. There's a better time. Now let's go to some questions. George, let's see what he fired away at me here. Oh, okay. So some of you are asking questions tonight, and so let's see here. And Omar asked, "What are your thoughts on people using Facebook Lives to give full company presentations?" You know, it's okay if you want to do that, Omar. If it's, let's just say, if this is a month, let's say the month of May, as it is, and you're really shooting for something strong here, and you want to support maybe your downline by doing presentations, and they bring their prospects. I remember 21 years ago that we did this every day, actually. We did this every day. But, you know, do you want to do it on lives or do you want to do it on Zoom? Zoom will be by invitation only. If your Facebook profile page is in a public setting, then other people can see it. Now, here's the thing. If you got, and you got to understand this, and here's the trick. If you're trying to use Facebook Lives and you want to do generic network marketing training to attract others from different companies, and they have opted into what you're doing, as long as you never talk about your company specifically, that'll be a violation and they won't come back. Just understand you'll lose those people. So you have to, it's a trade-off. So you have to decide what's most important here. I mean, you can do opportunity meetings on Zoom calls, but again, the only people that will join are people that were invited specifically. But if you're going to do it on a Facebook Live call and you're doing it for your group and you want to just do regular presentations, 21 years ago, we did 2 or 3 a day, and we did it on conference calling back then. And yeah, we built up our momentum, but you can still do that on Zoom calls. You just have to, I don't know your situation and I don't know your intention on how you're wanting to use Facebook, but that's something you can think about. You know, just think about that. But you're a great leader. And then Prashant from India, it's nice to hear from you. Prashant from India says, "Is it necessary to hide your expertise on social media? As I am a medical doctor, so shall I have to hide that thing on social media while doing Facebook Lives?" Or okay, so I get that. So okay, I don't know, Prashant. You know, it just I've seen some of your lives, and the thing about it is, being a medical doctor has credibility with it. It does. It has credibility with it. People will listen sometimes more to a medical doctor than they will on someone else who's doing training on health. I assume that most of your lives are about giving value in the area of health, and you focus on that. Being a medical doctor and saying that doesn't hurt you at all. I don't think it hurts you at all. Yeah, so, but, you have to decide on that. It just, are you trying to become more of, you're wanting to change your roles and not be the medical doctor, but be the professional social media leader? If you're wanting to change roles, then you can try that and try changing that role and become that leader if that's what you want to do, or try to do both and just acknowledge it. Say, look, my background is I'm a medical doctor, but let me explain to you why I'm involved in the network marketing profession. And you can try both roles. Now, Eden out of Colorado, and again, if you have a question, fire away. Yeah, so Omar says, I personally prefer Zoom. Okay, then that's the answer, I think. So Eden from Colorado says, we have a large affiliate base in my company, but it doesn't affect us with the billions of people in the world. How would you respond to someone who says there are too many affiliates and it's too saturated for them? Well, maybe, Eden, just stay away from the numbers. I remember back in 1993, I joined a network marketing company, and they already had close to 300,000 distributors in the United States. And the United States was the only country I planned on working, because I never built an international organization. Very few people did by that time. And so, considering that the United States was it, and there were already 300,000, I didn't say, well, gee whiz, there's already 300,000 people ahead of me. What are my chances? Well, you know what? I was in that company. I made it in the top 12 income earners in that company. Still got a plaque in my office downstairs on the wall. But there is no such thing as saturation. That's what we have to understand. Saturation is a myth. I'll compare that to Amway. How long has Amway been around? A half century? Surely everyone on this call has been in Amway, right? Surely all your friends have been in Amway. I haven't been in Amway, and I doubt you've been in Amway, and I doubt all your friends have been in Amway. And I bet you if you went around and talked to a lot of Generation Yers who are in their 30s, very few have even heard of Amway, let alone the Z's. So the thing is, saturation is a myth. It's a myth. And there's no truth to saturation, which is why a lot of people try to, again, this is the smoke and mirror, people that are not honest in network marketing. They always believe, and they always want to sell the idea that ground floor is the only opportunity if you're going to make it in network marketing, which is a total lie. It's a total lie. If most people out there have not even heard of Amway, and it's been around a half century, what does it matter? I mean, if it's not known, it's not known. And if your company's not known, and Eden, in your case, I have to believe, you guys haven't even scratched the surface. So just let them, people like that, I just say, well, look at Amway. It's been around half century. Most people still haven't heard of it. Believe me, very few people have heard of our company. As far as the affiliates, that is, if it's mostly made up of affiliates, then that's given that individual even a much broader, bigger field of opportunity, because when you say affiliates, what percentage of that are customers versus those who are actually working the business? You know, when you look at that ratio, because you see a lot of companies out there, they have a strong emphasis, you know, on customer acquisition, right? So I would say a small percentage of that is actually building the business. I remember when I got asked that same question back in the 90s, and when they asked, well, how many people are already in this? I said, well, why don't we rephrase the question, how many people are getting a check? Those would be the people that are in the business. And that was always my comeback when somebody said that. And I would say, as far as those that are getting a check, we're only looking at a couple thousand people here. The rest are customers. There's a very, very big opportunity here. Very few are working, and I'd say, and of those that are getting a check, most of them are not taking this seriously because they're distracted with other things. But if you come in this and you get focused, you could blow it out. So those are some concepts I would work with. Thank you, Eden. That's good. And so let's see if anything else. Oh, so Lorena in Mexico says, during this time that people don't believe in much, it can't be that bad. Come on, Lorena, in this time that people don't believe in anything much, is it that bad? Is that where we are? Honey, I need a drink. Okay. How, besides my enthusiasm, can I get them to listen to me? Well, first of all, I'm just messing with you, Lorena, okay? You're a sweetheart, I'm sure. But you're in Mexico, okay? So in Mexico, it's that bad. Hey, Janessa, nice to see you. Listen, first of all, let's change our mindset, okay? So your job is to make an impact. Remember, impact before income. Impact before income. So I want you to work on your posture, your mindset, okay? And that is, when you say, during these times that people don't believe in much, how can I get them to listen to me? I want you to, first of all, don't buy into that story. Don't buy into there's nothing much to believe in. I mean, you're saying that's the way they are, but really? Because I don't feel that way about the world I live in or the country I live in. And I know Mexico there's a lot of opportunity there. Network marketing is doing very well in Mexico. Very well in Mexico. So it's very important that you work on your mindset, okay? And so every day, I know Mindy talks about this on some of my lives. She does her hour of power, and that she'll take that first hour of the day and she'll get a strong dose of Tony Robbins. I can tell you right now, this is something I want you to do, because I can tell you in March of 1993, when I was broke, I had nothing. My business was bankrupt, and I saw a network marketing company. I wanted to join. I didn't have the money to join, and all I could think about was I was broke, I was broke, I was broke. And then I started listening to Tony Robbins cassettes, and it was on his book, Unlimited Power. The cassettes were called Personal Power, and I believe you can still listen to it on YouTube. But anyway, every day I would listen to a cassette, and there was a cassette for each day for 30 days. And I started taking notes. I changed my mindset. Now I want you to understand, and here's the other thing you can do, is you can also go into YouTube and you can get the law of attraction. The law of attraction. Keep in mind, what you think about most is what you attract. And so when I was broke, and I would go and I would do this every Sunday. Now I would work my business part-time, Monday through Saturday. And on Sundays, I would go down Dream Street and I'd walk around looking at all the rich houses, and I would think to myself, yes, this is the way it's going to be. And this is how my life's going to turn out. And these were beautiful estate homes. I mean beautiful. And I would look at a house and say, you know, that one with the pillars, yeah, I'm going to have a house just like that. And those gardens, rose gardens, perennial gardens, yeah. And I'm going to have a gardener too. And that Mercedes in the driveway, yeah. I'm going to put a BMW next to it. And in 18 months, I was there. See, here's the thing that I want you to do, Lorena. You have got to be a beacon of hope. I don't want you to echo their negativity. What you got to do is show them there is a way. And what people want is they want to know that there's something in them, in themselves, that you believe in. Say, look, I see you. I see what you're going through. But you know what? I also see what you don't see in yourself. There's more to you, but you're drowning it out because of all this negativity or these circumstances right now. What I want to say, it's the darkest moment when the sun's about to rise. And I believe it's about to rise for you. And it's because of that, and because I see that in you, that I want to share this with you. Because it changed my life. So here's the thing. You got to understand, Lorena, people buy you before they buy your product. People buy you before they buy your opportunity. And you got to believe in yourself first. How much are you worth? How much do you really believe in what you're doing? You're going to have to sell yourself. If you can get yourself sold, you can sell anybody. And that's what I want you to do. But I want you to work on some personal development. I'm not saying that these people aren't going through hard times. You're talking to the guy that was bankrupt, broke. I had no money. And I had stinking thinking. I needed to do a checkup from the neck up. And when I listened to Tony Robbins, that's exactly what I did. And Tony said, man, your thinking stinks. And I just remember, after, just sitting on my porch thinking, how am I going to get started? What am I going to do? And I thought, I'm just broke. I'm broke. And then I heard this voice say, will you shut up? We know you're broke. Now let's do something about it. And then I looked out in my driveway at that moment and saw a junk truck. And I said, that's it. I have been walking around the answer for weeks. And it's been in front of me and I couldn't see it. This junk truck is my ticket out of here. Most people would say, well, that's the most insane thing I've ever heard. Well, it may sound insane, but it worked. I called the junkyard man. He came out, gave me $400. I put $200 into my business. And friends, I'm telling you, that was it. Ever since that time, I have been full-time in network marketing. Almost 28 years now. And so what I'm saying, you got to show them. You got to be a beacon of hope. Don't buy into their red light stories. Because they're afraid. Some people are afraid that they will be successful. Some are afraid that there is an answer because they want to focus on what's wrong. We can't focus on what's wrong. We got to focus on the solution. And that's what we got. And that's leadership. You got to teach people that. So then, and then we have Zita. Where are you from, Zita? Nice to see you, Zita, by the way. Thank you, Zita. It says, some salespeople say, get back to the prospect 7 times. Do you agree on it? Yeah. So, okay. So we're talking about exposures. Why don't we just call that exposures? That's the politically correct network marketing sophisticated expression we use today. Okay. So exposures, right? Or presentations, or you're dripping on them. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes because, keep in mind, we live in a generation today that Facebook, they count a view on your video if they even stayed with you 3 seconds. So for that reason, you might need to drip on them a little more. Okay, give them 3 more seconds, and then another 3 seconds, and then heck, man, if you do that 10 times, you got them for 30 seconds. Hopefully, you got them in by now. It's a messed up generation. What can I say, man? I'll tell you what. But here's the thing. No, really. Sometimes it just It takes, here's the thing. The problem is there's a cloud around a lot of people's head, and part of that cloud is social media, okay? And they got so much what I call white noise going on. It's just, stuff that's just, and they're connected to everything, and everybody's reaching out at them. And then of course now, you got all the craziness in the news and everything. And so, I mean, it takes more exposures. You're sending them this, you're sending them that. And if you'll do that, and it's not like the days 21 years ago when I joined my last company. We didn't have white noise. We didn't have all that crap. And that's why I tell leaders, unplug from that stuff. Unplug from it. Really, I get tired of listening to it. I can't keep up with it. I don't want to plug into it. So the things that we need to plug into are the very things that I was just talking to the woman from Mexico, Lorena, about, and that is we need to build ourselves up. We need to work on ourselves. Work harder on yourself than you do your team. Why? Because you're going to influence your team, and you need to be the right kind of influence. Remember, we're going to be the average of the 5 people we hang around most. That's what Jim Rohn said. Well, you need to be one of those 5 that has a very, very positive impact into your leaders' lives. And you're the example. So when you see them plugging into that news and just negative stuff, tell them to unplug. So, staying plugged into the news is not going to change. I'll tell you right now, if it's that bad, if whatever's happening out there is that bad, your neighbor's probably going to come knocking on your door and let you know. Right? I remember when a plane hit the Twin Towers, and that morning I got up, that September morning, and I was having coffee, and I turned it on, and I had been at the top of the Twin Towers once in my lifetime. I remember what that was like, just being up there and looking down, saying, how did they build this? But that morning when I walked out there and in the living room, and I drinking a cup of coffee, and I saw that plane, and I saw the smoke, and I thought, oh my God, what has happened? Surely they got a protocol for this. Surely they thought this out. Surely they got all, they're going to have this under control, right? Shoot, people, we can't even get face masks. That's how dumb our government is, okay? Anyway, no protocol, okay. And then I called one of my leaders and I said, Terry, I think you need to turn on your TV and you need to see this. Okay, so we don't have anything that bad right now going, yeah, there's some people getting sick and yeah, people have died from this. I get that. But what I'm saying is that plugging into all this every day is, focus on the solution, not the problem. Many of you have a product that's going to be of help to people today, that's going to help them at this time. Your products have value. You're in different companies, but all of you have products of great value. What you need to do is just be focused on solutions. Share those products. Share your opportunity that they can work from home. And I think, and again, spending time in your personal development is going to be a big investment in your future and in your team's future and the way you're going to impact them. Nice hearing from you, Amy, too. And so all of you guys, listen, it's the weekend. Again, I want to just say that, some of you are in lockdown situations. Keep in mind, you have a window of time right now. People are home and they have nothing but time. You are home, you have nothing but time. So use that time wisely. Build a team. I mean, I've seen leaders in my own team build incredible organizations when they're so limited. And I even go back to the Philippines where very limited. They have, just like martial law lockdown enforced by the military, right? And they're doing Zoom calls. These are people that never plugged into technology much, but now they have to adapt. Now they have to change. So it's a good thing. And another incredible month, April. Many of you had that in your companies. I just had another record month. And this is at a time when everything is at its worst. and network marketing is doing so well. And there's a lot of people not happy about that, okay? There's a lot of people that would love to see us fail. But we know that we made the right choice a long time ago. We had the right reasons a long time ago. We knew our future was never going to be tied to a job. And we made the right choices. But here's what we have to do is just understand there's a lot of people out there today and a lot of people in the gig economy that are now, out of a gig because they were reliant on either resources from another country for their products to sell or, the Uber drivers. How well are they doing right now? The list goes on. Look at real estate right now. Ooh, tough. Brokers are really challenged right now. So there's a lot of opportunity that you have here. What are you going to do with it? You have to make hay while the sun shines. That's what you have to do. So you gotta wanna. That's what we say in the South. You gotta wanna, man. You gotta wanna. If you want this, you can have it. You just gotta be hungry. Hungry will run through steel. Hungry will never see limitations. Hungry will never accept a no. That's right. I never saw a no, because if you reverse the word no, what is it? On. So I never worried about no's. I never did, because I knew people needed this opportunity. They needed network marketing. I knew that. And the only people not in this are the people that don't understand it yet. And that will change. I mean, if I was Barack Obama and somebody if I could sit down and explain this to me, okay, say, Brock, here's the thing. You can only write so many books. Brock, you can only give so many speeches. But you are a person of influence, okay? You get into this and you tell people this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Look at the residual income you could have, Brock. You think he wouldn't be interested? He just doesn't understand it yet. But for those of you that are not as busy as Barack right now, okay? I'm just using him as an example. If you don't like him, I'm not saying I like him, okay? I'm just using him as an example. I'm just talking about people of influence who, I'm just saying if you look at the people out there that don't have those advantages, what could they do with this? How the difference it can make in their life. And so that the attitude we need to always have is that I have what they've been looking for all their life. And I've been blessed to be the messenger that's going to take this to them. Man, that's incredible. I can't believe I have this honor. That's the mindset we need to have. I don't see roadblocks. I don't see stop signs. I don't. I'm going to fly, and that's it. So I hope all of you guys will take advantage of this time and do that and be of great value to people out there. And again, this is your opportunity. If you ever were looking for a time to run, I look at some of the people in my team that hit top, hit $1 million rank positions in terms of their sales volume, people who purchase their products. Let's get that straight, because I want to be politically correct at this point, is that people that took advantage of this crisis and they said, it's not a crisis. I mean, it really isn't. This is a time where people can shift and learn and adapt and change. And if they do that, they're going to be richly rewarded for it. Yeah, we don't take advantage of a coronavirus situation. Situation is the situation. That's it. What we want to do is help a lot of people out there. And that's what we want to do. So get good at doing that, helping a lot of people. Understand that you're the consultant. You're not trying to pressure them into joining with you, anything like that. You give that value. You let them know that you're going to support them. You're going to be there. You're going to cheer them on. You're going to be a mentor. You're going to be a coach. And that's it. That's all you couldn't offer anything more valuable than that. So this is your time. Shine with it. Run with it. make it happen. Everyone, have a great weekend, really. And if you're spending time with your family, your kids, man, just enjoy it. Enjoy it. They grow up fast. They grow up too fast. I wish I could slow my children down. Say, I do that sometimes. I say that to them. Quit growing. Hey, whatever you do, don't become one of me, okay? I want to enjoy this time, you know. You say, well, Jeff, that's so unrealistic. Yeah, it is. I know. I just don't want them to grow up. That's all. I just love kids. Anyway, everyone have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on my next call. If you got value out of this, share it. Anyway, have a great, oh, by the way, of course, George always says this, Jeff, you always forget to do this. This is my book, Reaching the Peak. It's on Amazon. Came out last July, went #1 after 2 days of its release. My 40-year journey in network marketing. Ray Higdon wrote a foreword on this book. Yes, this is the backwards version. You will not get it like this. Anyway, but Ray Higdon wrote the foreword on it, did a great job. I appreciate it. But anyway, if you haven't got it, it's on Amazon. And, you know, if you get it, please leave me a review. Anyway, everyone, have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.